Looking good. Yeah, it's just been a kind of thematic change on the maps where we don't have a lot of Reaper jump-in paths at the moment. So even though Reaper openings aren't terrible by any means, it's just this is going to keep you a little bit more solid, because otherwise you'll have these games where yeah, you lose your Reaper to a Stalker, and then the Stalkers just run over and kill you, and it's like, ah, this is terrible. So this should be a little bit more calm. No, barracks first, barracks first.
I got it first.
Oh, you got it? Oh, cool. Sorry, I don't know how I didn't see that. All good. Looking good.
This is like the Zerg build that I do, where you get the reactor. It's gas, it's barracks and gas, but anyway.
Oh, okay, awesome. Yeah. Do you normally go reactor before Reaper against Zerg with that?
I think it's Reaper, Marine, and then reactor.
Guys on gas. Pull one of those dudes off. No worries.
Shivers.
One more SCV.
SCV ready.
Looking good. All right, no worries. So it's going to be reactor first. Of course, that SCV goes straight down to your natural.
I was supposed to SCV scout.
Yep, let's go send him out as well. Sorry, I forgot to write that in the build as well. I'm useless. 17 SCVs. It doesn't matter, even though he's a bit later, he'll be fine. All you need to really see is if he's got a natural expansion or not. Alright, so it's going to be command center, and then depot.
Command center, depot.
Yep, so let's go get that depot started right away. And our factory is quite delayed with this, and that's totally fine. We want to just start marine production first of all.
Command center upgrade complete.
Alright, so let's get marines started. So 2 marines, and then we go build our factory now. So get an SCV over in position to build that factory. Gonna have the money in just a moment. So it's only about 2 minutes 20. So this delays our factory about 20 seconds. That's totally fine though. So our SCV can just come home. There's no reason to keep wasting any APM staring at it or anything like that. Let's keep building SCVs, keep building marines, and let's get that second gas as well. So after your factory's down, you go for the second gas when you have the money, of course, without interrupting SCV production. All right, so let's keep queuing up those SCVs, queuing up those marines, and you know what? We're going to say a 3-minute bunker at the natural. And while this might be slightly risky, so we're just going to use the SCV kind of when the command center finishes can do it. Just build a bunker there, and that's going to be good. So yeah, 3 minutes, that's going to be good. Alright, so let's keep building, let's get a Widow Mine, 2 more Marines. I guess we can get the starport down first if you want, actually. We can have a little gap in marine production here, that's okay. Your mules are going to start harvesting a ton. So, and now you can just go for, you know, the Widow Mines, Constant Marines, Medevac, and we want to get up that second, that next depot in the near future as well. Yep, you're looking really good here. So, that bunker's really far forward. Normally you want it a lot closer so you can pull to repair quickly. Doesn't matter too much, that's fine, just a little thing. Let's get those depots started. So we can start extra depot production. And you'll notice you've got a ton more marines. So the main thing this helps you out with is if you're not sure what's happening, you're much safer against oracles. So normally what you'd be doing is just leaving like 1 or 2 marines in the bunker, and the rest would be kind of around your ramp. So if an oracle comes in, you can respond quickly to either mineral line. But we're kind of past the time where an oracle normally hits anyway, so that's okay.
Racks.
Yep, another barracks. So after your medevac starts, you go for another barracks when you have the money, and that's going to be good.
SCV ready. Gangway coming through.
Keep building those depots, just keep queuing those up. And in the near future, we'll need a second depot builder as well. But for now, this is all good. So let's start this pressure. Now we're going to pause real quickly.
Game paused.
All right. So this is going really well so far. It's always weird having me just whisper in your ear and playing a build order, which you haven't done before. This is hard, right? You're kind of out of your element. It's a little bit weird.
Everything's a little bit delayed, and yeah, but
to be fair,
hasn't been too hard now.
Your execution's actually been good though. You're not actually very delayed. You just might feel a little bit out of your element. So I want you to kind of just think, hey, this is basically the situation you normally find yourself in at this time. You're going to go across with the medevac. You're going to send it in the main at the same time as the Widow Mine hits the natural. You're going to have a Liberator, which you need to queue up as well, and you're just kind of macroing behind that with
Yep.
your normal pattern. Yep.
I'm still getting a tank for defense.
Yep, absolutely.
That's what I was doing in the last build. Okay, cool.
Same as what you were always doing. So just get into your same pattern that you normally were doing there. Now, why am I pausing? Because you're about to take over more, and I'm going to have to shut up more because you're getting to the mid game. There's more things happening. I want to take the back seat and let you get in your rhythm. You're going to make mistakes. It's slightly different to the certain timings and stuff that you used to. That's fine. Just try to focus on your basics, you know. And number one is we're about to do this pressure, right? So the reason I paused here is in that last game, you sent your Widowmine too close to his natural. So what actually happened is you unburrowed the Widowmine, told it to go in, and your medevac was already going into his main base, but you'd been looking at the Widowmine. So you want to normally stop your Widowmine. You see where it is on the minimap right now?
Yeah.
That's about as close to you as you want it to his natural. So as your medevac gets maybe a screen or so away from his main base, you can literally just select that Widowmine. It should be hotkeyed. You haven't hotkeyed it this game. Make sure you give it a hotkey as your secondary army group. And you can just say unburrow, move into natural mineral line, burrow. And that is going to take about 20 seconds to walk there, right? So that gives you the time to start unloading your drop with your full focus on it. And you don't need to think about the Widowmine at all. So the idea is you're going to distract with the drop in the main, and then the Widowmine will hit the natural and burrow. But you're doing it in such a way that all of your APM is focused on that drop the moment it enters his base. Because you never know if there's going to be 3 stalkers sitting on the edge and they're just going to shoot the medevac down, right? So you need to be ready to get that out of there. So the last point here is don't use your boost on the way in. You can use it getting across the map, but once you're getting into his base, you save that boost in case you need to evacuate, which you almost always are going to have to do.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, so you're not quite at that stage yet, but what are you going to do now? You're going to hotkey your Widowmine, you're going to load up your drop, get it across the map, you're going to add more depots, queue up a Liberator, keep adding production at home, and we're going to figure out how we go with this. All right?
All right. Cool.
Sick. All right. Good stuff, man. Good luck, good luck.
Game resumed.
All right, let's see how he does this, guys. So he's put the Widowmine on number 2. Good. Good. He's got his drop going across. No, he's got to get that drop loaded up.
Armed and ready.
All right. Yeah. All right. It's taking a while to load the drop up. Didn't have his starport rallied out. It's these little things which slow players down. Like he hasn't set rally points on these structures. You know, like me, whenever I put a structure down, I tend to set the rally point pretty much straight away.
This better be good.
So it helps me remember that a lot easier. All right. Let's bring down gases, more barracks. It's got a depot building. This is fine. So he could use a boost here because by the time the medevac gets in, it would be like 70% recharged. But that's fine. Doesn't need to be perfect here.
Oh, whoops, I boosted. I'm so used to doing that.
Doesn't matter. That's fine. You gotta send that Widowmine in. Remember, you should have already given that command. You got this, man.
Add-on complete. Your forces are under attack.
SCV ready.
Remove
Alright, just pick up and leave. Just boost out of there.
Man,
That's alright. Go back to
I
macro.
stuffed it.
That's right. Don't distract yourself. Remember, always focus on your macro. Macro. Go back to your base. Stare at that macro. Add-ons, depots, upgrades, all your standard stuff. Let's go. I think we're going to recover replay from that time and actually get him to try that again, guys. It's really funny. Because like the thing is, it's like having these little sequences of actions planned out just makes you such a stronger player. But you've got to actually take the time in the practice to do it. You're not going to get it the first time. It might take the second or third time of you having a really focused little plan to getting it down. So he's not doing it quite right. You know, he's boosting in. He's not timing out the Widowmine just right. He's kind of not giving the commands flawlessly. It's going to take a little bit of practice, and that's fine. He's going to get there in the long run, and then he's going to start tearing his opponents apart. Forgot about the Liberator this game as well. This Protoss player is just making like Stalkers and Colossi in double upgrades, so I'm pretty sure Captain fails. Yeah, too high level for him, from what I can tell. So guys, if there is another Protoss player who would like to play a game with us, please do hop on the chat channel Pig on the American server. We would love a Platinum 1 player, Platinum 2 player, maybe a Diamond 3. Protoss main
Research
to help us
complete.
out. Oh, boosting right through the stalkers. That sucks.
Oh my goodness. Wasn't expecting that.
Add-on complete.
Alright, this game's over. It's fine. Yeah, bad luck on that
Mineral
one.
Field depleted.
Yeah, he's over here. Where is he? Never mind.
So rather than using scans for that, if you ever want to figure out where their army is, you always just grab a marine, walk it off in that direction. Super easy way to figure out, you know, if an area is clear.
SCV ready.
Much cheaper as well.
Some help here.
Okay, supply locked again.
Oh, he didn't wait for his extra 2 Colossi? Okay. Yeah, I mean, you don't need to take me that literally. I mean, you can grab your army together first, but that's cool. I just want him to kill him right now,
Mineral field
because I don't think New can stand a chance against this army. Yeah. And this is actually just gonna, yeah, it's gonna finish him off. Easy. As these last 2 Colossi come and the rest of the Stalkers, it's over. The upgrades are really good as well. 1/1 burst, just +1. You know, that's it. There's a ton of Marauders out, which is really good, you know, spending from you in that regard. And Marauders are what you want against this force of Stalker Colossi. Unfortunately, a lot of those Marauders weren't stimmed, and a lot of them weren't A-moved either. They were on move command for a while. Looks like he will be able to hold, but because Colossi like literally just suck balls against Marauders. They'll lose way too many units in the process. Alright, good defense there, but in the end it's going to be a little bit too much Protoss. That's fine, we can tap one out of this one. Alright.
Yeah, I was trying to get Vikings out, but I had no money.
Ouch.
Oh man.
All good, man.
Are we gonna jump out?
Yeah, let's hop out of that one. No worries.
Oh, I didn't type good game.
Alright.
Good game to.
Oh yeah. So first time getting used to the build order, that's all good. So with the drop, trying to remember to always hotkey that Widow Mine, like the moment it pops, we want to kind of visualize the future when we're doing this build. Like the moment that Widow Mine pops, you're like sending it out on the map, putting it on that hotkey number 2, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we got a Platinum 1 Protoss as well. Oh, hells yeah. All right, let's create another one. I think Captain Fail is a little bit too high level for you, since he is a Masters player as Zerg. You know, even though his off-race isn't super refined, he's got certain fundamental things he does, which are really good. Awesome. So we're gonna get Sal.
So what was he doing? Did he have 3 bases in that game, or?
Yeah, he didn't rush to 3 bases, but he had double upgrade, double robotics Colossi coming out. So it's just Colossus Blinkstalker. He just had a bit too much after the start, because he like rushed his first Colossi out as well. So with your drop, yeah, getting out of that boosting habit. So normally what happens, right, is if you're doing it efficiently, you pick up your units as soon as that medevac comes out. You boost across the map, right? That game you kind of forgot about your drop for a little bit, partly because of the pause and partly because it wasn't rallied to the front. So my apologies for pausing right then. So it was delayed longer than it needed to be, and it might have done more damage otherwise. But with the drop, normally you boost when you leave your base. You tell it to boost again when it's about halfway across the map. And then its boost should be, you know, regenerated by the time you get inside his base, or almost regenerated at least, right?
So like, yeah, double boost and then don't boost into the main. All right, I gotta remember that.
Yeah, as long as even if you boost like and it finishes as you get to the edge of his base, even that's usually okay, because by the time his units get there, like it's recharged, you know. But if you're actually like boosting into the middle of his base, it's like, oh god, this is a one-way trip. We're not going to get out of here. And try to remember to not focus too hard on this pressure. So, you know, you've got your Liberator queued up after the medevac, which you also just rally across the map to your opponent's natural.
I think I totally forgot that game.
Yep, you forgot that game. It doesn't matter. I threw you off as well by talking and kind of pausing and everything. But if he just pulls probes like that, you should just be very decisive. It should be like, move your Marines into the mineral line, kill a probe or 2, there should be like a window, right? So this is a concept I want you to have, which is you want to have this idea of like every second that goes by that you're not looking at your base, your money is building up, right, at home. So you need to be getting more kills for it to be worth your APM and attention to still be looking at the drop. So at first, it's fine because right before you go in with the drop, you're going to have this build refined in practice. You know what you're going to do right before you go in? You're going to queue up another depot. You're going to build more SCVs, queue up 2 SCVs on each command center. You're going to queue up Marines and Marauders. You're going to build a barracks or something like that at home, right? So you basically finish your macro tasks right before you go into the micro situation. And this way, you know you've got about 20 seconds before you really need to be doing any more macro tasks, right? Before you need to queue up more SCVs, build more depots, anything like that. So whenever you're going for these openings where you've got a set pressure, these are the easiest moments where you say, I do this every game. Every game I do this, I want to get better and better at saying, okay, my drop's in position, my mine's in position. And even if you've got to pause with those pressures, you don't even need to queue them to go in right away, right? You can leave them there, say, wait, I got to finish my macro. It's more important. Build a depot, queue up units, queue up SCVs.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's focus on the micro. And after about 20 seconds of focusing on the micro, you want to be like, well, if I've got 8 Marines in a mineral line and the probes aren't running away and we're just gunning down heaps of probes, it's worth continuing to look at that, right? You're getting mad value. Who cares if you bank some money? That's fine. That's worth it. But if he just pulls away like that, you don't really have any high value targets. A lot of the time it's better to just say, yeah, it's time to look back at home. I've done a bit of damage. I've forced a big reaction. He's probably panicking a bit. Let's just pick up and leave. You just load into the medevac, boost it out, go back to macroing. So this way you're dictating where the attention is at each time you're choosing it. So even if you're not doing a lot of direct damage, it's a lot about you being able to mix putting this pressure on while keeping your macro up at home. And this is the hardest thing as a player and the most important thing as a Terran player. So it's something which as a Terran player, once you start doing it, your opponents will feel like you're everywhere at once. They'll feel like you're just ahead of them all game, and they'll feel like Terran is really broken and whine a lot and post whiny comments on Reddit and stuff like that. So we're going to steadily work our way in that direction. So this time I'm going to talk you through the opening one more game here. And once we get to that sort of stage where you've got the medevac on the way and everything, I'm just going to let you take over, and we're just going to keep working on that. And I don't know how much more time we have. Let me check. We should have enough time for this game. Yeah. And then we might have enough time to recover from replay as well. So if this game's kind of quick, we can recover from replay and we can micro that drop again. And we can just get in that rhythm of do the macro, go in with the drop, and we can practice that 2 or 3 times in a row, which would be really awesome. So, awesome, man. So get in your groove. I'll walk you through this opening one more time. Let's kick some ass.
Cool. All right, let's do it. A gas after racks. I gotta remember that.
Yep. So barracks gas at the start, straight into that reactor, and then building a nice fast second depot after we put our command center down so that we can get that marine production going. And and once our command center finishes, remember the command center SCV, you can immediately rally to in front of the command center, and we'll put down a bunker once that command center finishes at the natural right on 3 minutes. And this should be awesome.
Okay.
All right. We got this, man. Remember, guys, it's not even about winning. It really is just about him improving these little pieces of his game. That's exactly what it's about here. Just improving these little pieces one little bit at a time. And it's not immediately going to make him win games, right? It's not like I coach him on something and he immediately wins a game. I'm all about improving players in the long term. Like I could teach him a really easy to execute cheese right now, and he could shoot up the ladder. I'd just be like, yeah, just build this on time. Just get your proxy factory, get your siege tank, go build a bunker. It is natural. Free wins to Master League. Enjoy, you know. But I wanna help him kind of improve as a player, and hopefully we can kind of develop that. So these guys are both Platinum 1 dudes. They're both Platinum 1. Yeah, this is coaching. We're coaching a Terran player. It's going to be finishing up real soon, and we'll be getting back to ladder. But this has been pretty good. Pretty good.
SCV ready.
Look at that APM difference, guys. Terran versus Protoss in a nutshell. Am I right? Am I right? Where do I sign up for that cheese coaching? PogChamp indeed, man. PogChamp indeed. Learning cheese can absolutely be a good tool. You know, focus on the details and stuff.
Our
But
SCVs are under attack.
it definitely should not be your whole thing if you really want to learn how to play the game. Thanks, Faye. Much love.
Our
Much
SCVs
love.
are under attack. Command center upgrade complete.
Oh. Let's get that second depot going, remember? Second depot.
Oh, yeah.
That's fine. No worries. You're going to start up that marine production.
Add-on complete.
And we're going to
He's
start
got
off.
double gas and it didn't look like he had a natural, so this is like when I get suspicious. But
You saw 2 gateways and 2 pylons in his main though, so that's fine. Just send your SCV back to his natural to see if he expands. Because there's a good chance he just
Our
expands behind that.
SCVs
So
are
just send
under
that
attack.
SCV back to his natural. Make sure it scouts
Oh,
that. Now,
okay.
put down your factory and keep building marines. Stop getting distracted. Just focus on your base. That's it. You're good. Factory. And that's fine. He took your gas. That's cool. Just keep building marines. You can retake your second gas now. That's all good. You're all fine. All right. Okay, so you see no expansion. Let's pop a bunker down at our natural
SCVs are
immediately.
under attack.
Let's keep building marines. And you can totally take this, man. No worries. Okay, so we're also going to take our SCV that finished the command center, and we're going to send that down to the bottom left-hand corner of the map, and we'll use it to scout later. So just send him
it
to the
down
very
to-
bottom left-hand corner of the map, not his base, just the bottom left-hand corner of the map.
Over here.
Any corner of the map, doesn't matter where. That's fine. You're looking good, man. All right, let's build a couple more marines. So we want to build a starport as well. And we want to put down an engineering bay because we're like, oh my god, he's on one base, what's he doing? And let's scan his main base now and see what he's up to. Okay, so
Okay. So he's going blink, basically.
blink, charge, or glaive, some sort of gateway attack. So let's just keep building lots of units and we should be fine. So let's keep building depots, marines constantly building. We can get out either cyclones or siege tanks is probably the safer idea. So keep building extra depots. Very important to get those up. And that's going to be really nice. Just getting on top of that macro. Keep building marines. Get out a medevac. And probably... actually, get a Viking out, maybe. Oh, no, medevac is fine. Medevac is fine. That's all good. Sorry.
Okay, tank, then
Yeah,
medevac.
tank priority is good. All right. You're looking good, man. You're looking good. So let's send that SCV into his natural and then his main base now. So grab your SCV, tell it to go into his natural and then his main. Oh, okay. I meant the one in the corner, but that's fine. Because he
Oh,
could have had
I
it.
did-
Yeah.
I don't know.
That,
I just
it doesn't matter, man. That's all right. So whenever someone's cheesing you, you
Our
always want to hide a
SCVs
scout on the
are
map.
under attack.
Okay,
See,
so his
that
adepts
one
are
just
on the
died.
way.
Yeah. That's fine. Scout with your SCV. SCV in the top right corner, grab it, tell it to walk into his main base right now, and then stop thinking about it. Let's go back, keep building units. Keep building units at home. Good stuff, good stuff. Alright. You've got marines that aren't fighting there.
I didn't heal the tank.
It's okay, doesn't matter. You just killed a bunch of adepts for it. Let's just keep building new units. You got this, man. You've got 2 more barracks on the way, which is great. Keep up depot production. You can build a missile turret at your natural just in case TTs come in. And what does your SCV see on the map?
Our
Let's
SCVs
go take a look
are
what
Okay,
else
he's
it is.
expanded and he's got blink. He's got stalkers.
All right, so it looks like a normal game now. Awesome. All right, so you can just start going into your normal game plan now. You don't need to be paranoid anymore. You know, just keep building units, keep building depots. Let's get back on that macro train. We did a really good defense here. Scouting what was going on, leaving those SCVs out on the map to confirm if he was transitioning out of it or continuing to attack. We did a really good job. So we're coaching a Platinum 1 player, guys.
Go, go, go! You want a piece of me, boy?
I don't know if this is a good idea, but
I'm currently doing
Add-on.
gas first, barracks reactor, expand.
add-on.
Alright, so you're you've got 8 marines going across, that's fine. You can go use that to drop in his main, but for the most part, focus on your defense and your macro. So your drop shouldn't go into his base. you should just focus on your defense for now. You got plenty of units at home. Just need to pull them up there. You can totally deal with this. That's okay. All right, let's put those SCVs back to mine. That's only a few units. You got that dealt with. So don't stare at it. Remember, whenever you see you can take a fight that easily, don't stare at the aggression. Don't even stare at this drop. Just let it unload and do its thing. Focus on your macro. SCVs back to mining. Remember, you ran them to your natural. So if you haven't even put your workers back to mining, it's never worth focusing on aggression. That drop on its own is going to cause a lot of chaos, cause a lot of distraction. Boost it out and go back to macro. Good stuff. This is it. This is that rhythm we're talking about. You forced a big response there, and we're going to just keep fixing up your economy. So first of all, depots and workers. So keep queuing up depots and fix up your saturation first of all.
Depots and workers. Depots and workers. Just
Yep. So let's have 2 depot builders at all times from now. And you see your saturation's not quite right, so you got to fix that up.
Armed and ready.
yeah.
Yep. Got to put guys back on gases, that sort of thing. All right. All right. Remember, his all-in failed early. You're still in a really good position, so you should feel really confident. You just need to keep on focusing on your basics. So we're going to pause really quickly here, and I don't want to interrupt your rhythm too much, but I just want you to say, okay, you've been in a messy situation, take a deep breath, and just say, you know what, I should be ahead, right? I defended his pressure. Yeah, those stalkers came in and caused some damage. That's okay. They didn't really kill that much, right? He just tried to cause chaos. You've still got a drop out there, which at some point when you've got spare APM, you can poke in with if you want to, but there's no pressure to do that, right? All you want to be doing is macroing up and then trying to figure out where you are in the game. So what's probably the most important thing for you to scout in the near future to figure out what sort of position the Protoss player's in?
Well, basically, the first thing that comes to mind is whether he's going to be going Colossus or something like that.
Okay, so there's the tech path to help you decide.
Yeah,
Yep.
tech path.
So you're normally going Bio, Widowmine, and so is that because if he goes Colossus, you go Vikings, but otherwise you go Liberators? Is that how you kind of organize it, or?
To be honest with you, I'm new to this version of the game, so the Liberator doesn't really make sense to me yet, because I'm used to like the old style of Wings of Liberty, where it's just Marine, Marauder, Viking, and Ghost. Although I was never good at it, but that's so the Liberator. I'm not 100% sure what it's used for, like, or how to use it.
You can be like me, and you can just use only Liberators every game and never build a Viking, even when they go Colossi. And that's really nice because it simplifies your game plan. And most Protoss players really struggle against Liberators. So even though Colossi can, outrange the Liberator zones to some extent, you can always just run past your opponent, siege up everything on their natural, and they've got to fight into it, right? And if the Colossi fight into Liberation zones, they work just as well as Vikings. They blast everything with their beautiful, beautiful cannons. So that's great. So scouting his composition's nice, but what about where he is in the game? The more important thing at this point is how many bases he has, right? There's been a lot of back and forth, a lot of aggression.
I've got that little SCV in the corner, and I'm going to send it into his third to see if he's got a third or not.
You're going to send it into both of his thirds. Remember what happened in the previous game? You didn't realize he had a third.
Yeah.
So they can expand to either of those bases. It's totally a personal preference. So make sure you scout both of them. And that's going to give you an idea, right? Because if you see, your third's almost finished. It's like over halfway done, and it's built on location. So you're getting up towards that 3-base period of the game, right? If his third hasn't even started, you should feel really ahead, because normally Protoss expands a little bit faster than Terran, right? So you should feel really good. If he has expanded, you say, oh, okay, he's got quite a bit, he's on par with me, that sort of thing. So this is going to give you just at least a sense of feeling of where your opponent's at in the game. And this is also a stage of the game where it can be really nice to send Marines around the map, but we're not going to focus on that too much for now. So what we're focusing on is, like I said, deep breath and then focusing on your macro. So what are you going to be doing? Building SCVs, building depots, building units. Building SCVs, building depots, building units, in between, adding in upgrades and all that other great stuff. So I'm going to let you get back in your rhythm now. We've had a nice breather. You should feel confident. You're just scouting his base count and just going bio medevac. And we can go Vikings or Liberators later, depending on the situation. But for now, let's just focus on getting that economy going. a lot of Terran players fall apart after their game plan gets thrown off by aggression. The reason I wanted to take a breath here is...
Yeah, that's something that happens to me, definitely.
Happens to all of us. Because Terran, you know, we end up being very reliant on certain habits to know when to do things. So after a messy situation, putting extra focus on getting back to your comfort zone is really important. So really just focusing on this macro right now, allowing you to build up a big army and spend it, this is the most important thing for you. So, right now your army is in absolute disarray. Whenever you find the spare time, try to group everything, lower the depot in your wall, and get it all rallied to the front. You know, your rally points are all over the place right now. So, yeah, should always be very habitual with those rally points. And keep the macro up. So we haven't really been dropping mules. We should be dropping a ton of mules on our third, changing the rally points over there, getting that economy going. You haven't changed the rally points in your command centers yet. You should always do that by selecting the hotkey and just doing it immediately after you hotkey that command center. We can transfer workers over there and really work on getting that economy going. And let's keep building units and building depots and adding upgrades as well. Just keep that engine rolling. So guys, I'm realizing something here which is really big is he doesn't have a clean macro cycle at all. This is part of why he's struggling really hard, is his macro is super haphazard. Macro cycles are the least important for Protoss, but for Zerg it's the most important. For Terran it's still quite bloody important. So I'm going to need to talk to him about that as well. So every 25 seconds you should do a macro cycle. This is your generic kind of thinking. Every 25 seconds we do a macro cycle as a Terran player. What do we do? Queue 2 SCVs per command center. We also drop mules. He's getting stressed out for no reason. He's up 50 supply. Okay. Alright, we should be adding on, going up to 7 or 8 barracks. And getting those double upgrades. Now, this is a point where you should also be taking your gases on your third base.
Sorry?
Take your gases on your third base, and you should also be dropping a second starport, just so you can get into Moria units when needed. But that's basically your macro done for now. So let's get our army together and let's look to push our opponent. You saw that his third was much later than yours, but now he's even going for a fourth. So it's your time to get out on the map and plan a way to finish your opponent. Whether one big frontal attack or multi-prong, it's up to you. Ball's in your court, show me what you got. He's just so far ahead here. Oh, there's no storm. Sour Life forgot to upgrade storm. Recall! Recall now! He was so afraid of the storm, he was like spreading his army out and everything. That's so funny. How do you get this? He's got this. But yeah, he needs to Q2 SCVs for command center. Bad luck, man. Okay, so he just loaded up 2 dropships, but he didn't hotkey them? Ooh, interesting. How is he going to control this? Interesting. But yeah, basically it's Q2 SCVs, drop mules, queue up units, and then drop depots. Build depots, yeah. So that's something he needs to start working on. Whenever there's chaos, go back to the macro cycle. That's the most important thing. So he's got these nice little drops being annoying dickheads. The High Templar trying to fight there. It's always entertaining to watch. Storm is now finished, and these High Templar are gathering up energy. But 4 base versus 2 base, he should have no problem. So he's queuing up some units there. He's trying to spread his bio. Ooh. Not bad micro. I like that he's boxing his units and microing. That's actually really good. Most Platinum players don't micro properly like that. And he's going to even send a drop in while having this big concave on it. Look at that. Dude, this is really good, really good. Like, you know, now that he doesn't have as much pressure on him, he's doing much better with his positioning and stuff. He's not using control group stealing, so the drops are a little bit haphazard, but you know, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Yeah, cool. It's getting a little bit messy on the front. He's so afraid of Storm, he doesn't want to try to punch down the front. He actually can. The medevac's gonna go down with Marauders. Oh well.
Depleted.
He's trying to macro back at home, that's fine. He's pretty much maxed out. He's adding some more depots. Looks like he's actually rallying across the map. Oh, maybe not actually. My man, GGG, very nice. All right, so he opened up with a crazy opening. It was a very weird way to open up from him, but you reacted well there. I talked you through kind of how to defend that push, right? You know, it's like just get the bunker down, keep focusing on your basics, building units, building depots, and just keep sending SCVs around from the edges of the map in to see, is he expanded? Let's drop a scan on his main base, you know, see what's going on, and just come up with a generic response. Oh, he was just building fighting units, you know, it was just lots of gateways and a Twilight Council getting an upgrade. You know, it's something very straightforward. Blink Stalkers, Adepts, or Charge Lots, all you need is a lot of things that fight, right? And you did a really good job of holding that off. Pretty good job of transitioning from there onwards. So we don't have time for any more games right now.
That's cool.
But
thanks for your help today.
No worries, man. We've got a bunch of things in the document which you can look at. So make sure you get that one open. It is linked there on Discord. Have you got that open?
I did. But it's in obviously. I got to get out and go into.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, just kind of tab out, hop in there. So a couple of notes for us to focus on is the macro cycle. So especially in that chaotic situation, right, where he's dropped your base, you're dropping him, you've already had this weird start, your build order's not where it normally is. So you scroll down to where you see I've got it selected, just about halfway down this first page. And this is something you need to think of.
Something's gone wrong. I'm looking at it in my Gmail account and it doesn't seem to be have updated for some reason. Maybe I'm doing it wrong.
It says you're looking at the document right now. Have you clicked the link in Discord?
I did, but it took me to a different browser where I have to like log in. So I just went to my Gmail account.
Okay, yeah, as long as you log into your Gmail, just click the link again and it should take you there. It just needed to confirm who you were to see if you had access. So click the link again.
Is there like a refresh? I'll just click refresh. Maybe I need to do that.
Yeah. So at the top, it should say Race, Terran. Below that, it should say TvP opening first game.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with the...
It says
oh, okay, all right, no, okay, no. I went to the end of the document, and you've put it in...
Yeah, sorry, it's at the start.
You put it up the top, so yeah. I was looking down the bottom, and you were up the top, so sorry about that.
No worries. I always just write the most recent stuff at the top, so the stuff at the top, and then it pushes everything else down.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you scroll down to macro cycle, that's something which is important, which is when you're in those chaotic situations, that's a really big point. Whenever anything falls apart for you, you need to go back to the macro cycle, and this is something I felt like you were quite inefficient at doing. And I could feel you straining mentally to remember to do this, all the different macro tasks whenever you weren't fully focused on it. So this is something which for Zerg and Terran players is really important, to have a set order that you can do with almost zero active brain processing. Like literally you just do it without thinking, and you've rehearsed it to the point where your fingers just do the actions. You go, it's time to macro, and your fingers are just like, and they just do the things. So you see that cycle there? Does that make sense, the way it's written?
So in it's like there's a period of time at the start of the game. I think it's up to like 40 supply, where it's like 1 depot at a time, and then after that it's like 2 or 3. So I just got to like practice. I think in the mid, so like SCVs units 2 depots, SCVs units 2 depots.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, yeah, the depots obviously is flexible. The units you're queuing up is flexible based on the situation. But like right at the beginning of the game, you're not always queuing up 2 SCVs, right? You've only got one because you've got nothing else going on. You want to build your barracks as quickly as possible. You don't want to delay that because you've got 2 SCVs queued up on the command center.
I think the first 3 to 5 minutes I'm okay, and then after that it just gets completely hectic. And if he does something distracting, then all my plan goes out the window, and I got to do, like you said, do the macro tasks and do that stuff.
Yeah,
So
So it's just it's like in those messy situations. It's like right in that stage where you're both interacting with each other, you're harassing. There's all sorts of shit going on, flying left, right, and center. There's lots of stuff occupying your brain as well. You're thinking, how do I react to this? How do I react to that? But this just simplifies things. You're like, all right, every 25 seconds, so you've got this sort of like this. It's almost like a leash on your brain saying, you've been doing other things for a while. It's time for another macro cycle, With Zerg, it's very easy to get used to this compared to Terran, I think, because you've got your injects that you need to go back and do. So that naturally gives you a moment where you should be doing a macro cycle. But for Terran, it's not too hard either. It's just queue up 2 SCVs per command center and drop mules. So those actions should always be paired together. It should always be queue up SCVs, drop mules, queue up my units, add some depots, and then you can do all the other things. Building extra structures, add-ons, upgrades, transferring SCVs, microing and drop, all of that sort of things, right? But these are the most important tasks to keep going, because if you're doing these, you're building workers, you're not getting supply blocked, and you're spending your money on building units. And that's obviously the core most important thing. So even if you float 1,000 minerals and because you're late adding your 4th and 5th barracks, it's okay because you've been consistently producing out of the 3 barracks. Floating 1,000 minerals is not the game ender it sounds like. It's if you're not building depots over and over again, you just keep forgetting them, keep hitting supply blocks. You keep not queuing up building units on your barracks all day, all game. It keeps happening. That's where things kind of spiral out of control. No one plays a perfect game of StarCraft. We all float money. We all get supply blocked. But having a sort of macro cycle that you can just do it in this set order every time. Try to always think of it as like, do it in that set order. Don't just do it, I need to drop mules because this command center has energy. You click on the command center, you drop mules. No, don't do that. Because then you're going to be like, oh, wait, my other command center has energy too. I need to drop mules. Let's click on that and drop mules. Like, you start really wasting your APM, right? Whereas if you automatically just go select hotkey, mule, SCV, SCV, select barracks, build units, like it's just this thing and it happens so quickly, and that frees up all your attention for the strategy, the engagements, and the fun parts.
Yeah, I think that's definitely. I think that is a problem I have. It's like once the harassment starts, and once obviously the attacking and defending, then I completely forget all that stuff.
Yeah, you get in that mode where it's all just adrenaline pumping, the blood's pumping in your ears. You're like, I got a macro, and you go back to your base, and I do this myself as well. And you're like, build the things, and you just start like placing barracks haphazardly. Like, wait, I need a depot. What SCVs? And you're kind of doing it in such a disorganized manner. And even though you feel like, because there's adrenaline, you feel like you're doing things, you're so frantic and disorganized. A lot of the time, it's better to do things slower and a little bit more organized. You want to have a little bit of like, hey, I'm trying to do this quickly, but it's better to kind of have like a deep breath and do things in an organized, clean fashion than it is to feel like you're always like stressed out and stretched like, oh my God, I gotta do things. So usually it's about coming up with like clean orders and techniques for getting your tasks done in StarCraft that allows the game to feel a lot calmer, because it's kind of like rehearsing pieces of a song, and then, you put them all together and you've got the music, which is your build, your game plan, your play, and everything comes out. So that's awesome, man. I think this is a really good first sesh. You've got some good stuff going for you. I want to say a few positive things to finish off. I liked the spreads when you saw the High Templar. You kind of like split your army up really well. I like that you were often spreading your Marauders in a big concave, trying to send drops off, rather than doing let's just stim and move forward in a ball and die to storm. So I think you reacted really well to that.
Yeah, I've got to tie all these things together, because I saw your videos a few weeks ago. That's how I found I found your channel, and you were just saying like pre-spread all the video long. So I've been doing it. But now I got to like tie in the macro cycle, and hopefully that'll make things. If I get that down, then that'll make things much much improved.
Hell's yeah, you know, and little things like just getting the rhythm down with that early pressure. You'll have games like in that coaching session where the Widow Mine gets 2 shots off and kills 20 probes and stuff like that. You know, and the drop kills like 7 probes in the main. You're just like, oh my god. You didn't really get that damage done today, and that's fine. You know, that's good. You kind of got thrown in the deep end in terms of practicing it, but good play. And hit me up whenever you want to set up another one, man.
No worries. I was thinking next Friday at the same time if it works for you.
Next Friday at the same time. Let's take a look.